So one of the first things on the list when it comes to one of the domino effects of fornication is adultery. Adultery, man. You know, when a man and a woman become one and they make that vow before God and they become one flesh, then any outside force, whether outside force or internal force, cause that bond to be separated is adultery. When a man cheat on his wife or when a wife cheat on her husband, it's adultery, man. It all goes back to fornication, right? Like sexual behavior, like this sexual behavior of a free spirit is widely accepted in this Western hemisphere, man. That fornication, you know, in some parts of the East, but mainly the Western hemisphere, right? The mainly West is where this fornication is so accepted to where it's the new norm. Two of the main reasons, man, for someone to actually step outside of their marriage is, two of the main reasons outside of domestic violence and abuse is, one is influence. Like I said, it's widely accepted to have multiple sexual partners and be in multiple sexual relationships. So, and that influence can come through music, TV, social media, right? They promote this promiscuous lifestyle as something that's real trendy, and you know, it's something to do, and not knowing it's a detriment to not only a family but just a worldwide mass of people when you start to really analyze it, right? So that's one of the reasons people would, you know, commit adultery. The second reason is financial. You know, a woman might see a man that's not making as much money as another man. She might leave her husband that she's with to go with that man because he has the money, the resources to provide for her. And her husband might not be having a lot of resources just yet, but he's working on it. A woman might get enticed by another man who's already there, who already has money, and she steps outside that marriage. And vice versa, the male. A lot of men, you know what I'm saying, when we play on, you know, men play on women with a lot of money. They use the woman's money and finances and take advantage of the woman and then leave her and go to another woman. You know what I'm saying? So those are the two main reasons outside of domestic violence and abuse is influence and financial. So then that starts the cycle of fornication all over again. You know, it's all, you know, those promiscuous habits, right? You know, when a man leaves a woman or a woman leaves a man, for those two main reasons or those reasons, she then gets involved with somebody. She don't fully commit to that person like she once did when she was married. She goes out and tries to discover herself, and then that starts the cycle of fornication, and then which would then turn into adultery. So adultery can also, man, it can lead to domestic violence or just violence in general, right? A man finds out that his wife is cheating on him. He goes out and physically abuse her, right? Even commit murder or, you know, cause a harm to actually cause her to, you know, die. You know what I'm saying? Or she goes out his way to try to find a guy and they get into an altercation. There's many stories of like domestic violence turning deadly. You know what I'm saying? So this world would be a better place if everybody stayed in their marriage, stayed in their relationship, in their marriages. What belongs to him belongs to him. What belongs to her belongs to her. His wife is his. Your wife is yours. She belongs to you. You belong to her, man. And the world would be a much better place. You wouldn't have so much toxicity in the world. You wouldn't have diseases in the world. Because a lot of these diseases coming from a lot of men and women switching partners back and forth, sleeping with one another, multiple relationships without no strings attached. Mind you, that's the key term. Having sex with multiple partners with no strings attached. That is a a recipe for disaster. Diseases, so many different diseases now. It's crazy, right? And then you got violence, of course. There's a lot of violence going on. So, like, this is one of the domino effects of fornication that is often seen to cause other things. You know what I'm saying? One thing leads to another. And that adultery, man, is something wicked, man. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, God intended man to be with a woman and not to depart from a woman. A woman's supposed to be with a man and not depart or leave that man. You're supposed to be able to. This is why we have to choose wisely, because the devil, this wicked world, our minds is being influenced by Satan's amenities. Satan's, he's enticing with his enticing words. It seems fun, but in the end, it's destruction, man. So God intended for a man and woman to stay together and not depart until their last days, until they go into the ground. If everybody had this mindset, you wouldn't get a lot of the issues that we're getting today. You know what I'm saying? So this domino effect, man, it's real. But this is why people neglect or people take God's words for granted. They don't pay attention, man. Like, God's words really, really is effective, and it was meant for mankind. His words was meant for mankind to live, man. To live. We stepped outside of that. And that's our problem. So many different, like I said, you can have your opinion on the Bible, you can have all these different things, but when it comes down to law and structure, God has it all the way figured out. I don't care about your opinions about church, Sunday school, Sunday church, all this other stuff. People got these ideologies about who God is. And listen, when it comes down to law and principle and law and practicality, God has it figured out. God has it figured out, period. Not man, because man will ruin your life. Man don't know he's ruining, he's evolving to his own destruction, man. So this is why we got to pay attention and examine these things even further. So, domino effect of fornication, adultery, yeah. And we're going to get into the next one. And we're going to speak even further. It's a domino effect of many different turmoils and destructions from fornication.